everybody.
Hello.
It's time. Man, there's way too much me in this shot. Oh, my word. Hey, welcome to the experience. This is a minute to skim it. And man, you want to talk about a knuckle biter. There were some comics this week that were knuckle biters, and our drive to get here on time was a knuckle biter. As it turns out, the traffic was completely stopped coming into the... You're not okay. Oh, no. We thought it was pretty boring the way we were always on the exact same side forever and ever. Switch back. All right, fine.
That's a little bit better.
We're celebrating Hannah's birthday today in a weird way.
Yeah.
We got her all sugared up. She had chocolate something pie.
I think meringue.
Chocolate meringue pie. It was super, super yummy. And I'm full of pancakes. So we read all these awesome books. Awesome books. We read them for your review pleasure. What am I? Oh, no, here. Okay. Stuck on a box. And we're gonna give you guys a completely spoiler-free review on them, so you can have a really good idea about who to call right after this ends. Call your local comic shop or local comic shop near you where you are if you're on vacation, and to tell them what to pull for you for tomorrow. So. You don't miss any of the goodies because there are quite a few today. Just like always, if you have no idea where there's a local comic shop near you, you don't even have to use Google. Google is kind of like a general look. You can get really specific by using comicshoplocator.com. It is populated by a diamond. And if you want to know a little bit more about the comic books that are coming out today, you can also go to previewsworld.com. We'll have really good descriptions of all of them.
Yeah.
Let's get going. Oh, this is my book today.
Yeah.
I just have some random stuff laying down on here. All right, we're going to start out with Extreme Carnage. I feel like, what is that? Like, Extreme Carnage. All right, this is the alpha book and starts the whole, looks like 6-part series that's going on this summer.
Yes.
Which will end in Omega. My gut tells me that Omega is going to have something huge in it.
Oh, for sure.
So this kind of like sets us up on the travels. It mostly focuses in this one on Thompson, who is the Agent Venom that you saw most recently in all the big storyline that's been going on with Eddie Brock and his son Dylan. They brought him back in. Of course, our main character is Carnage. I mean, that's no surprise. And that's pretty much all I can give you because it's just like one of those things you don't want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably all you really need. Each one is supposed to focus on a different character, so you'll be able to find that on Previews World for sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure you'll have the Scream, Toxin. I can't remember the other ones. Riot.
There's a few other ones.
But just remember that when you have a big team, which clearly Carnage is going to call on all the baddies, you also have all the goodies. So who are those guys? So if you and also if you know nothing at all about anything Carnage, like you're a complete newbie to the idea of those characters, they tell this story in such a way that you can totally figure all those things out. No problem. Who?
Yeah,
yeah.
I tried.
My OC is going off.
I know. You just
there. Oh. All is well.
Yeah. Crushing Lobo number 2. So in the first issue, spoilers if you haven't picked it up yet, but Crush and her girlfriend were celebrating the girlfriend's birthday.
Okay.
Kate or Katie.
Is Katie like does Katie have abilities or anything? Just normal?
No. You find out how they how they met in this episode. Or in this issue. And oh gosh. So the first issue also talked about how her dad has been reaching out to her. And that she really doesn't want to deal with that. Because when your dad's Lobo, I wouldn't want to deal with that either.
Can you imagine having
He's
a
in
dad like
prison.
Lobo?
He's
He's
in
kind of like
prison.
that uncle.
Right.
Everyone has that uncle. He's that uncle.
That's all I'm really gonna say about it.
Okay.
She's absolutely narrating so well in this book because
Okay.
she is the narrator, and yeah.
Perfect. All right, this is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 2. What you need to know about what's going on in all the annuals this time around for Marvel, or at least most of them. They're actually addressing the Infinity Stones. Like right now, instead of them being loose gemstones, which is ridiculous, they have actually been connected to specific people. In this case, this one talks about Star, who is a character that appeared first in Captain Marvel, is, for lack of a better term, a bad guy. And she has one of the stones that's part of her abilities. So her power specifically is that she can basically speak things into existence.
It's reality stone, right?
Mm-hmm. So she can kind of like say, you can't see me anymore, and then that becomes reality. Or that she wants something like you want to give me all of the things in this shop that are worth more than $10. Okay, I do. And it's neat the way they do that. Like the letterer does a really great job of, they make her, whenever she's using her influence with the stone, it's like red letters with like different kind of fonts, which is kind of cool.
That.
And this one does have Peter Parker in it. He's trying to follow her around or figure her out. It appears that he's figured out a way to be that she can't use like her Jedi mind tricks on him. She can affect things. Like if she says the ground opens up or whatever, that still happens. But if she says you feel a certain way, then
it doesn't work on him.
Some way Peter's, I guess if your brain gets scrambled enough that your brain's kind of like, yeah, no, no anymore. So this one, there's been, I think we're up to, this is the 4th part, I think, in the Infinite Destinies, which is they're going through all of the people that have stones. So I'm sure when they get to the end of it, they're going to wrap it all together and have some kind of craziness. Can you imagine, for example, I don't know if this is where they're going, if you had all of the people get together that had infinity stones as their powers and for some common purpose, who knows? But that would be cool if they did that. What do you guys think that they should be doing at the end of the Infinite Destiny storyline?
All right, so last week I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, the Static number 1 came out and
sold out.
Yes. So
Milestone is alive.
Yes. This fills in some of those, not really holes, because it made sense at the time to not know exactly what had happened.
Okay.
But we get to see what happened, what the event was that they were talking about, how all of these high school students got their powers. So we see that. We also see what caused that event and how it's tied to all of the other Milestone books.
Okay.
Which, oh my goodness, I am so excited for Icon and Rocket as well. Because I didn't know much about these characters, and this is pretty much, like, if you've never read anything of these characters, this is exactly where you want to jump in. I think this is probably going to be one of the, I want to say, like, an event that people are not going to want to miss, but they might if they're not paying attention.
Okay.
It also has a lot to deal with BIPOC heroes and just kind of the state of even their Earth and their version of America, because it's not exactly the same, but it's very close. There are a lot of similarities. So I'm really excited. I think
You were making lots of like noises when you were reading it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's a very expressive reader, so she'll be reading across the table for me. We would have like breakfast for lunch when we're doing our review. Sorry, and she'll be like, just all this over across the table. I'm always like, is she okay herself? Okay, it's about the book. Okay, good.
I mean, there were some parts in that one where I was like, oh no, I'm gonna cry.
Oh yeah. All right, X-Men #1 comes out this week. I know that you're thinking X-Men #1 happened like a couple years ago, but this one is a way for them to kind of like next phase the X-Men storyline as it pertains to Hickman's big overreaching storyline. So it's very much part of it. If you're reading the things that are all tied in right now, you know that there was an event that happened in X Factor, I believe. Might have been X-Force 10. This last week, that's in play in the book. All the things about Krakoa are in there. The X-Core stuff. X-Core is the idea that they've kind of now monetized their ability to make pharmaceuticals from Krakoa. And it also ties into the events that just happened in the last book of, I remember where they said this one, where they made plans to not only have, they have Krakoa has touched base to the moon. Mm-hmm. There's another part of Krakoa called Araka, I think. And they have recently taken that island and have made it take over Mars. So now they have a complete planet. The mutants have a planet. And so all of those things have happened. You need to know all those things for getting into the X-Men #1. But beyond that, all you need to know is that this mostly takes place in New York City, of all things. They've decided to set up a headquarters there. And what else is there that's important? Nothing really. It just furthers the story. It's really awesome. You won't miss a beat if you're used to kind of hearing things in the voice of Hickman, his writing style. Dugan does a really good job of having the exact same voice, so you will love it. It's very cool. Okay. This is something you can only get on Kickstarter, so I'm sorry that I'm showing you something that might be a little bit trickier to get, but it did have a retailer tier, so your retailer might have supported this because it's a Jonathan Hendrick creation called Quicksand. It's a very basic story so far. These giant scorpion-looking aliens, yeah, Jonathan's in the house, come up from a giant pit in the middle of the desert and attack some population, and then disappear back down into the hole in the ground. And everything else about the story feels like it's like a drama about the characters. It looks like there's been a relationship between two family members that one of them has passed in their going after these creatures. And I'm trying not to give anything away about this character so you don't know which one you're looking at when you see them. But they're completely BA. They're so awesome. Yeah. Oh, fans of Aliens, Stargate, and Sunshine. There you go. Yes. Jonathan's written a really great book. I like this one, Jonathan, very much. Of course, I also just got through watching The Tomorrow War on Amazon Prime, which also has aliens. It does have time travel in that one, so maybe yours has time travel. So if you liked Tomorrow War, you will love Quicksand because it has it's sci-fi but with military and happens in the Middle East. What else, Jonathan? Tell us other things about it. How many issues do you plan? Are they all going to be only available via support of the Kickstarters? What do you think you're going to do next? And how long will it be until the next issue?
While he's typing and all that, Fight Girls #1, the long-awaited from AWA Upshot by Frank Cho. I mean, it's right here on the book. The premise is exactly 10 women, 4 challenges, 1 crown. Winner rules the empire. So, the queen stepped down, abdicated the throne, and so now they're doing this contest, not unlike the Hunger Games style, where everything is televised, everything is announced, and all that. This one covers the first challenge, and I don't really want to say much more than that, just because.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one I've been waiting on. And
I feel like we should like Fight Club. I don't think you should talk about Fight Girls too much.
Yeah.
All I know is that Fight Girls was one of the very first books that AWA Upshot pitched to me way back at San Diego Comic-Con, maybe 3 years ago now. It might just be 2. It's all foggy with COVID, timeline. But I remember reading about that, and I was like, absolutely. Because I remember I got to see some of the decks for Archangels. I'm trying to remember what other ones I actually got to see, and they were asking me what they should lead with. And I was like, don't lead with a superhero book. And of course, they led with one of their superhero books. But I didn't know. But it was also mostly about a pandemic. So definitely get into Fight Girls. Everyone's been waiting for this Frank Cho joint for a long time, and I have a feeling that it's going to have a lot of
it's fantastic.
Love. All right, so Jonathan says it's a 5-issue miniseries. Definitely Kickstarters in the meantime while I pitch it to publishers. #2 is almost done. Launch a campaign as soon as capable. #4 is done on Kickstarter. Oh, that's right, because we got Capable #4 coming up too. So that's an awesome series also that Jonathan does. Capable's it deals with a young man who, when he is not doing his superheroing, is actually wheelchair bound and is a super person in his own right. But I like when we get to see people that we can see in every day. Think about them as that could be superhero. All of us could be. That's cool. So looking forward to Quicksand #2. Jonathan, if you want me to shop your awesome book to publishers, I know a few that might like it. You need me, not after recount. You don't need me to pitch anything for you. All right. This is a Masters of the Universe Revelation. You're thinking to yourself, why? Okay, I got you. I can get you a meeting probably tomorrow if you like. Masters of the Universe Revelation is a Dark Horse book. You're thinking to yourself, man, didn't DC have that for a while and Marvel have some Masters of the Universe stuff? Yes, but this is Kevin Smith taking on Masters of the Universe. And he loves his nerddoms. He's thought it very much through. And this also is a prequel to the Netflix animated series that's coming out. So think about this as if you wanted to know where the Netflix series is headed and what the characters are going to be like, to definitely read this.
I'm excited to read it after.
Yeah, there's a character that I'm not familiar with in here. All the ones you're used to, Tila and Orko and all those guys, totally there. But there's a new character that I don't know that I've seen before, and it might be because I haven't necessarily read the Marvel series or all the other ones where he's jumped through and been treated with kindness. I like all of the ones that I have read from long ago. That's old Marvel. But I think it might be Star even. It's so old. But it's a gorgeous art and has your favorite baddies in it, of course, and maybe some new ones. You're going to spend so much money this week in comics. Yes, James, we all are. Yeah. It is a big release week for sure. Oh, okay. Let's do this. All right. Sonja, Black, White, and Red follows the grand tradition of Black, White, and Red books that you've seen at other companies. I'm can't remember who was the first person to do them, but it's been going around for a while. Because we even had one at DC with Harley. They've done plenty of them with Marvel, Wolverine, and Carnage.
There's 3 different ones going on DC right now.
Yeah. So Red Sonja is awesome. It's got, I think, 3 whole stories in it. I like the last one the most because it's the most detailed art, and I love detailed art. It's going to make your eyes like so happy. And it's Red Sonja being Red Sonja, man. She's just when you think to yourself, that girl doesn't have enough clothes on to beat anybody, she beats everybody.
Yeah. She's
almost impervious to things. She feels like she might be a little bit Domino, if that makes any sense. Just good luck. That's all she needs is luck.
And red hair.
And red hair and a giant sword and stabbing. And it's really cute. There's one of the stories, I think it might be the one I'm talking about at the end, that has a couple that she meets in the forest and she goes to protect them. But there's also like this weird awkwardness. And when she's like, they're like, oh, we've been trying to like lose the guys that are following us. We're going to like now have to camp out in the forest and it's really cold. So we should all get in the same, under the same blankets to share body heat. And it's just this like where this like the husband's like, yeah. And the wife's like, okay. Spoiler alert, nothing happens. I'm sure that's the reason why you were going to read the book, right?
Also just because, pretty art.
Oh my gosh.
On top of the
She's
awesome
stunning.
Stories. Yeah.
She makes me very proud to be a very light-skinned redhead.
All right. Blacksmith from Ahoy.
You took my blacksmith.
Yeah, I did.
Fine.
It's okay. You can read it after.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember what I can say based off of the pitch, because there's a lot of twists and unexpected parts in this.
We'll just give them, if you can't tell them anything about the book, just give them a genre that it is.
I remember that the pitch says something about werewolves, and it takes place, I want to say it's in LA. And she is a PI, and the job she's working on in this first issue is that she has been hired by a woman to make sure that her husband isn't cheating on her. That's pretty much all I can. And of course, things.
I'm sure it's not just about that then.
Yes. But I think that's all I'm gonna say. What I really like about Ahoy is that after each, after the comic's done, there's always 2. There's a prose piece and another. They're both kind of prose, and with small illustrations. It's not like written like a comic. It's, and I love it so much. I'm so glad when they do stuff like that.
Extra reading for extra points. All right, God Killer's got another series out. This is Tomorrow's Ashes. Believe it or not, I think in our store somewhere we still have, for the first God Killer, they had a really boss picture LP. I think we've got out there. So there's music to this series somewhere.
I know I've sold one of them.
I know that no one has a better name than the artist of this book, whose name is Anna Muckraker, because it's the coolest name I've ever heard. I'm jealous of this name. I want to be.
And the art style is fantastic. I love it so much.
You don't need to know very much going into this because it has a very good lead in with kind of lets you know who the characters are, but it's not like this is this person. There are multiple characters, all have back histories. Some are bad guys, obviously, and some are not as bad guys, I guess. In this one, it looks like a couple of the characters are trying to find the main bad female to acquire from her. She's somehow implanted spider's eggs in their male companion's body who's elsewhere. And they just go, this entire issue is about them going there and trying to get her to give them some kind of inoculation to kill the spider's eggs, and so they can take it back. But the idea is really like they have to have a plan going in, because this character is more likely, instead of giving them that, since it was our whole purpose to infect this guy anyway, to just capture them. So it's kind of a fun cross and double cross situation. Enjoy.
All right. The one I somehow did not have any previous knowledge about before picking it up.
Me either, honestly.
I think
I ordered it blind because I did not know what it was getting into.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Ordinary Gods.
So the first part of this book is complete setup. Well, kind of. The very first part is a flashback, and then it gets into the setup. But basically, there are, I want to say 12 gods, I think.
12 seems like a good number for gods.
Right. And each one is god over, like, not just some, they don't just have a domain of, like, specific things, but they also have the area that's related to that specific thing. So, like, there's one that's sorrow, or I'm blanking on the other ones. There was a lot of them, but it ties to the land, and then all of them are under one king god. And the setup tells you the different names that the gods have, and how that ties to our main character here.
Is this the one where you need to know Russian?
Yes.
Helps to know Russian in this book.
Yes, this one, the main part of the main comic part, there's a second part that's written just like
Just text.
But it's from the point of view from one of the characters. It's like it's a continuation of the flashback that you see at the beginning of the book.
Oh yeah.
And there's some Russian text, so I need to brush up on my Russian alphabet. But oh my goodness, I can't really say much else about it, but you think it's going somewhere, and then the twist. I showed you. I was not expecting.
Did Jenna translate? We tried to get her to, but she's busy.
She's not here, so I didn't want to ask her yet.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to learn Russian.
Jenna's taking care of a sick puppy. All right. This is a Clans of Belari, which actually, because of the name, you know how when sometimes you're like, man, you watch a movie and you're like, man, it's a miracle I came to see this movie because the name of the movie was just so, yawn. Clans of Belari seems like a pretty yawny name for a book. But here's the setup. Think space, but the reference to Clans of Belari, there are multiple clans in this book, and they have rules. So if you're born in a clan, then you can't leave where you live, which sounds like a big problem for, like, inbreeding or whatever. But and think about it on a planetary scale instead of just like your area of whatever. So there's rules that are in place for the different clans. I don't think they can even trade with each other. It's kind of interesting. But it's a really cool. It's like, obviously from what I just told you, the whole setup for the book is somebody from one of the clans is going to break the clan rules, right? Because that's what happens.
Right.
So there you go. If you like sci-fi and you like people that can't possibly follow rules, because why would you have those rules? They're dumb. What does Brittany say? Yep. That's right. It's good stuff. You like writing down all the things you really wanted?
Orcs in Space, numbers 1 and 2.
Oh, we have to say it better. Orcs in Space! Do you guys remember Pigs in Space? Is that just me? Old Muppet Show?
No, I remember it.
Do you remember any of the names of the characters?
No.
Do you guys out there remember any of the names of the characters of Pigs in Space? Give me points. I mean, without looking it up on the Googles.
Right.
All right, so Orcs in Space, this one?
Yeah.
Oni Press, 2 issues in 1. What?
Yeah. Yep. So.
1 and 2. Look at that. How fast that is.
Yep. Well, I texted him that it was 1 and 2. So these are our alien friends who are, I don't know what kind of mission they're on, because they're not really like there's not, it's just the 2 of them, right? And they're in their ship, and then they land on this planet where there's just orcs. And
Planet Orc.
Right. There's other like animals and stuff, but like the only sentient beings that we've seen are the orcs. And so they come across these 3 orcs, and the 3 orcs that they come across, they just kind of interact very briefly, and then the orcs go into their ship and steal the ship.
Oh, okay.
So meanwhile, these 2 have pretty much this happen, where they're surrounded, they get taken by the other orcs.
That guy looks like a red shirt. That can't be good for him.
I believe he's the captain. Yeah. There are some very strong Star Trek references.
Obviously, from the cover.
Right. And honestly, it did not go how I was expecting it to.
What, the captain didn't lose his shirt nor sleep with one of the orcs?
I mean, that too, but
I was gonna say,
but the orcs do not have technology like the aliens do. So the fact that they were able to fly off in the ship was, and then the fact that the aliens, you find out about how they are, and it's not at all how you think they're going to be.
I like it
because
they're not
like humans at pretty much like at all, except that just like how you have we have credit cards and stuff like that. They have credit on their to their ship. So
oh yeah,
I love it so much.
James, I'm telling you the truth. Back in the day when I first started in comic books, we're talking 1992, the way every single person tracked their comic book collection and what they wanted to get from the comic book shop is in either a regular size spiral notebook or in one of those little notes spirals that had like the spirally things across the top that you flipped. And I'm telling you, it was not a year that went by usually that someone didn't accidentally leave their spiral notebook in the store, which I'm sure felt like the end of the world to them until they could figure out where it was, because that you would have pages and pages of, like, you'd use pencil because you'd have the name of the books and then the numbers all written back behind it. And the ones you had, you'd put like a little hash mark through.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you knew when there was ones you needed. Mm-hmm. And you could accidentally, sometimes you thought you got something, and then you'd have like, sometimes you use like the eraser so hard in there that it made a hole in there. That was the end of the world. You just,
oh yeah.
Then you have to write the whole page over again if you were a perfectionist like me. Yeah. But yeah, whenever the papers started falling out of your notebook and you just had to like kind of like hold them in there. Oh my gosh, that's pretty stressful.
Yeah.
So apps, much better.
Right.
Or just putting it in your notes thing on your phone. Yes. Mm-hmm. So now the only thing you have to worry about or stress out about is like your phone getting lost, which probably won't happen because it's everyone's necessity, right? All right, Hannah and I both read Sleigh Bells.
Yes, we did.
Which is a single shot from Bad Idea, which I think is funny that they changed the logo font for this book. I know probably out of all of the books that have come out from Bad Idea, you look at a name like Sleigh Bells and you see Santa Claus on the cover and you think to yourself, maybe this is the one to skip. But I'm telling you, it is totally not the one to skip. It is as violent and in your face as could possibly happen with a Santa Claus tale. It deals with a hunter and his son, their family, and Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. And what happens between them, which is a lot of blood and things. So just know that it is not for the kids. No. But it's also kind of like bloody, funny horror, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't too much for me.
It's like Ren and Stimpy or Tom and Jerry kind of violence if you had blood included.
Right. And a little bit of guts.
And some guts.
Mm-hmm. Not as much guts, though.
True. But yeah, it's a... Oh, and there's a follow-up story after Sleigh Bells, which is also killer.
It was Call for a Good Time or something. Is
it was like, Call for... Hold, please. Wish I could show... Oh, look at the back!
You didn't see that?
No!
Oh, and yeah.
I missed it. All right. I can't show you any interior art, otherwise it would just totally make your mind explode, but I can't do it. For a Good Time, Call.
Yeah.
And the image that's on the front page of it should give you a good idea of how terrifying it's going to be. Mm-hmm. That one feels very much like they mixed together a horror book. It feels like, I know, Junji Ito. It feels like Junji Ito. Oh, why can I say Junji Ito today?
Junji Ito?
Yes. The horror mangaist. It feels like that. But if you put it like in Rednecksville.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Redneck Junji Ito. There you go. You can quote me on that. Now we need a hashtag Redneck Junji Ito for the win.
Glamorella's Daughter from LP Comics.
I was worried that I had forgotten to order that.
I'm so glad you didn't.
Stress, man. They've got these little tiny imprints.
I know.
That they have like one line on all of the initial order, and if you miss it, you just missed it because there's no FOC for them. So if you don't remember it and find it, then it makes me crazy.
Mm-hmm. So this is Glamorella, and this is her daughter, and she likes to read, clearly, and her mom's a superhero.
That's adorable.
That's all I'm gonna say about it because I don't want to spoil anything, and I loved it. It's the cutest thing. Super cute, super funny. I relate a lot to. I can't remember her name. I'm so bad today. I haven't remembered.
I gave you a bunch of sugar. I'm telling you, it's affected you. Redneck and Junji Ito are words that have never been in a sentence together before. Maybe not, but it's very much the truth. After you guys read it, after you get your Sleigh Bells and read it, you tell me if I'm right.
Oh, I can tell you. You're right.
All right. This one is Skybound X. Previously, no one really knew what this was going to be, so I will tell you what it is. It's 3 tales that are told in here. Actually, there's 4. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going to say. So the very first tale in the book is Rick Grimes 2000. So it jumps forward in time and pulls your main characters into what looks like a post-apocalyptic modern world with robotic kind of things.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pretty ridiculous tale. I'll be honest. It's not the same like high anxiety world of the normal Walking Dead. This is more if you took that world and put it into like Escape from New York, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. So that one's good, but it's not my favorite in the book. It also has a story from Ultra Mega, which probably makes more sense if you were reading Ultra Mega. It gives it says it gives you the origin of something, which, having not read the first 4 issues, I think, I didn't get as much out of that story. So for you guys that love Ultra Mega, which has been selling out off the stands, so it makes sense. Now, my favorite of all of the stories in here is the one from Manifest Destiny, which actually focuses on birds. And one of them gets tasked with going off on a specific task. They like talk and stuff, so it's not like just a regular bird. Great for people that took a risk on Bird with Stick.
Oh, okay.
Which was a really great book about a bird that has to go off and try to figure out what's wrong because they are losing their songs. So songbirds need song, right? So this is not what he's hunting for in this book. But and then Clementine, which is a character that has been part of the Walking Dead universe and has a fully fledged story here at the very end of Skybound. It's a giant square-bound book, so it's totally worth the money. And also, if you've never read anything from Skybound, probably a good way to jump in and see if you would like any of those things. So, no, it is not like Dog with Bone. Bird with Stick is different. It's amazing. Let's go again?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Basilisk number 2 from my boy Cullen Bunn. The premise is in this series is that there are 5 individuals that walk out of the Tennessee woods, and they each have very deadly powers based on the senses. We figured that out so far, so I'm not doing that as a spoiler for you guys. One of the main 5 who has the power of doing bad things with her sight. She wears something over her face. That's the one of the main characters on here.
Yeah.
You can actually see all the characters on the front. Has been kidnapped. She's gone willingly, really, with this other person who is trying to hunt them down. And the rest of these powered individuals or godlike individuals are trying to figure out whether this person that uses their super whatever sight, godlike power of sight, whether they're leaving the group or has been kidnapped and taken away. And you get to meet a whole bunch more characters that are part of that. It feels very much like they just walked out of the woods and no one ever heard of them. But now you kind of seen behind the veil a little bit. Like now I kind of wonder if they are actually gods or if they were created as part of something. So maybe that's what's going down. We'll have to find out. Cullen will never tell me though.
No, you got to read it to find out. Mamo from Boombox. So I added this to my pull box after reading the pitch.
She did. She was like, "Dadgummit, I wasn't going to add anything more to my box."
Oh no, that was with Ordinary Gods. After I read that one. That one I read it and was like, no, I'm adding this one. Just the pitch. So can't remember the name of the town.
Doesn't matter.
But this is Jo, and her mom is she believes her mom is cursed. And so because of all of the different things happening in this town that she lives in, she and a lot of the people in the town believe it is caused by the Fae, and that they need help from the local witch. However, the local witch passed away recently, and so now she has to find her granddaughter. And so that's where, our witch here comes in.
Okay.
I'm so bad at names today. Ugh.
You always try to remember the names. You
I
notice
know,
that I
and
never mention a single name because I know I'm not going to be able to pull them out of my old
I know,
brain.
but
I just say the girl, the hero, the villain.
She has to convince our witch friend here to come with her to check out the town, because she doesn't believe that there's something going on in the town, because she's like, no, there's why would things be going wrong in the town, you know? But of course, there are more things going on than even Joe thought.
I love the stylized design of the cat that's on that cover.
Yes.
It's so adorable.
He bites.
Oh no.
It's
He
okay.
is a black cat, I guess.
Well, he's a cat.
All right, I have Battle Cats. This is volume 3, number 1. Let's see. The setup for this part of the series is that at the end of the last series, the patriarch of the Battle Cats, who is the king, has been possibly slain. And now you get to see behind the scenes the new cats in power, because all of them are cats in this universe. The new ones in power that are trying to take over, and then the battle cats themselves, which are a group trying to figure out if that individual is actually dead, and if so, can they go and find the body so that they can prove such things and pay homage if it's true. Yeah, it's a rich universe.
Oh yeah.
This one, I would say it would be better for you to have tried to find some of the other books to read.
I think this is volume 4, technically.
I guess so, because there was a little story. There was an excursive story that was out there. But it does do a good job at the very beginning of letting you know who everybody is. So, and then this one probably you may not just see everywhere. This one is from Luca Comics and Sean Manning. This is another one I've gotten directly from the creators, but I'm sure that it's available everywhere. There is it was made available with a retailer offering. So this is Macbeth the Red King. So this one is perfect for if maybe you were trying to get your kids interested in Shakespeare, and they've said, I hate Shakespeare and I don't understand a single thing that Shakespeare says or what they're doing. This is maybe a good way to bring them in, because I don't it's not written in Shakespearean iambic pentameter. Does it help you? Because that's usually what trips people up. But it is written in acts. So like Act 1, King of Moray. So and it's beautiful. It's in a giant size. This is way bigger than a normal comic book. So like magazine size or whatever. Don't say the M word. Go outside, spin around 3 times, and spit and swear. What was that mean?
Yeah, because you said the M word.
I'm going to say it 4 times, maybe.
No. Well, technically, we're not in a theater, so...
Macbeth doesn't matter if I say it a million times in here. It's only if I try to put on the play of Macbeth, which I am not doing. Reading it doesn't count. It's a cursed play, not a cursed book.
I have a story about that, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. I don't.
My theater teacher in 8th grade, one of the classes put it on, and his windshield was shattered for his car because of a rock.
There's bound to be something bad happen during the entire production of a play.
Oh, for sure.
That people would attribute to the curse of Macbeth.
But it was right after he announced that they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So the Scottish play is so super cursed more people have died trying to put it on than died trying to put on that stupid Spider-Man musical. Okay.
That's Spider-Man.
Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I believe there's definitely something to it. Otherwise, it
Don't
wouldn't come
tempt
before
the
this
faith.
I also think that Beth has existed longer. So
we'll know if I get a broken windshield today. I guess we'll know.
you won't have to go under any overpasses on your way home. So
curses like me. They're like, oh, it's Miss Jen. It's Miss Jen. All right, and that is most of what comes out this week. There's some really great trade paperbacks that you should be paying attention for. I'm trying to think what else there was that I remember that was really awesome. Anyway, it's a big week. Take it easy on your wallet. But definitely do support a local comic shop that's near you, because they, that's how they love seeing your face and talking about comic books. So I'll give you a hint. Most people that own comic book shops are themselves super fans and secretly just want to have an excuse to sit around and talk about their favorite nerddom. So if you don't go in, they don't have anyone to talk to, which is sad. So sad. All right, we got a couple minutes. I'm going to pull out the trivia box for you guys.
Oh.
Kyle can play. Kyle can play. All right.
It's on.
All right, we have to let everyone try. Everyone gets to try to answer, okay? True or false, Tony Stark formed Force Works after the West Coast Avengers disbanded. True or false? Tony Stark formed Force Works after the West Coast Avengers disbanded. West Coast Avengers are an interesting little group. Normally you wouldn't care a whit about them, but it turns out there's a great many first appearances to happen in that series that tied into the WandaVision show. So
that's true.
Then, I think literally every single issue of that series became worth a lot of money, because it was first time Vision took off his shoes. Whatever. All right, anyone want to guess?
The answer?
Go for it. Yes.
It's true.
It's totally true. You're right. Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you. All right. Oh, this one's a hard one. All right, you guys ready? Magus. So not Magneto. Not Magnus.
The robot fighter?
Magus. These are all Marvel, so that'll be interesting. We'll have a crossover. Magus is the head of what intergalactic religious group? Is it the Church of the Hive Mind, the Universal Church of Truth, the Eternal Truth Church of Being? I'm going to try that again. I'm going to give them A, B, and C's here. A, the Church of the Hive Mind, B, the Universal Church of Truth, or C, the Eternal Church of Being. Magus is the head of what intergalactic religious group? That did happen. Will knew that, the last answer. So funny, when we were in deep COVID, we would do daily trivia, and I missed doing it so much. So I started to pull my trivia box out again just to do trivia whenever I felt like it.
I can give you guys a hint. I'm not ordained in this church.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm positive, because I know the answer.
Look at Will. Will is totally right. Will knows it. All right. Let's see if I can trip Will up. Probably not. He's a smart cookie. All right, here you go. True or false question. Dr. Kurt Connors constantly battles Spider-Man as his nemesis, Dr. Octopus. True or false? Dr. Kurt Connors constantly battles Spider-Man as his nemesis, Dr. Octopus. I expect every single one of you guys.
Easiest question in the box?
Huh?
That might be the easiest question in the whole box.
I don't know. So I'm going to tell you guys a fun story while we're waiting on people to answer.
Names, so.
We used to have, before COVID, we used to have every year at our church, we had what was called trunk or treat, which is basically trick or treating, but in the parking lot. And we would open up your trunk and then you decorate your entire parking space as something like you're a pirate ship or whatever. And we did one year where we had, I had made a costume for the Green Arrow, the one from the movie, from the TV show, and we had a spinning wheel and we had trivia things on it, and we had written the easiest trivia known to man. Who's Batman's sidekick? That kind of stuff. And nobody could answer a single one. We were like, man, we need to work on this next generation. It was like adults too. What's
It's okay. My parents.
What's Superman's real name? I don't know.
LL.
Clark Kensington?
Yeah.
But Will is right. Connors is the lizard.
Will's killing it right now.
And Dr. Ock is Dr. Otto Octavius.
That is right. That is right. All right. Here's one I might be able to trip you guys up on. Okay. We got a couple more minutes. We'll do a few more here. What girlfriend of Peter Parker developed spider powers during the Spider Island saga? Was it Betty Brant, Carly Cooper, or Lily Hollister? Well, it can't be Lily because she doesn't have an alliterative name. I don't believe she's real. Betty Brant, Carly Cooper, Lily Hollister. I guess she has L's in the middle of her name. I'm going to be fully transparent here. I didn't know that any of these girls were ever Peter Parker's girlfriend.
What?
Same.
You didn't know about Betty Brant?
I knew Betty Brant existed, but I didn't know that was a girl.
I watched the original movies, and that was about it.
Yep.
This is a tougher one.
Yep. It doesn't
Give me
tell.
the choices again.
It's Betty Brant, Carly Cooper, or Lily Hollister. Will's going to guess Betty Brant, okay?
I'm going to go with Carly Cooper.
Okay, I don't see what
Just
else.
to be different than Will.
The answer is Carly Cooper.
Hey.
Way to go.
I didn't answer because I could see the card. So.
All right, we're going to do one more because I know we're running out of time here. All right, this is just a true or false so you guys can get this one really fast. True or false, the prison that Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic built in the negative zone for superhumans was called Project 92. True or false, the prison that Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic built in the negative zone for superhumans was called Project 92.
I'm going to go with false.
All right. Kyle says false. What does Will say? What does Hannah say?
I'm going to say false.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like a prison name.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the name of a Marvel prison.
Right?
That's my whole gut instinct. Like, I do not remember the answer to this question.
Why would it be a number?
Right.
All right. As we run out of time, I will tell you it is the answer to the universe and everything.
Project 42?
Yep. Project 42. Will, and you got it right. Extra points for everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the experience for a minute to skim it, where we give you ridiculous reviews and a little bit of fun at the end. We'll see you guys next time. And thank you so much, Kyle, for your awesome help in the chair. We'll see
But
you guys
seriously,
later.
go outside, spin around 3 times, spit and swear.
Okay, I will
You
try.
don't want Thespis to
Jen's
show up.
not going to swear, though.
Could I say poopy duty?
I'm not sure. I think it has to be a Shakespearean swear, so you can get away with a lot.
It's really a bad word.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.